Good morning, everybody. So happy to see so many people joining our webinar today. My name is Kuldar. I do business development and marketing here at Maksekeskus, and I'll be your host today. So today we're going to talk about Finnish e-commerce landscape and what opportunities it holds for Estonian merchants. Maksekeskus is not only active in the Baltics, but we offer payment solutions for Finnish market as well. We have two guests today. Sorry, first up is Jukka Vasama from Posti Group Oy in Finland. He'll be giving a really up-to-date overview of the Finnish e-commerce state and trends. And after Jukka, we have Sten Esna from Itella Estonia talking about shipments and deliveries to our Nordic neighbor. The aim of today's webinar is to inspire merchants to look for opportunities and to expand the Finnish market. After all, compared to the Baltics, Finland has much more buying power and the culture to Estonia is also very much similar to us, so it certainly holds opportunities. We'll have a discussion and Q&A session after the two presentations. You can leave your questions to the questions tab, the Livestorm environment. And you can also use the chat function to share your own thoughts with everyone. So without further ado, let's start with the presentations. And Jukka, the virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you, Kuldar. And now everything should be visible to you all. Good morning, everybody, on my behalf also. And definitely very excited to be here to present you our very fresh from the oven overview about the online shopping behavior of the Finnish consumers. There is roughly 15 slides here, lots of topics. I cannot go into detail to everything, but you will definitely get the presentation after the show. After you've seen what the presentation has, you should have some kind of overview about the online shoppers and their change in behavior in Finland. And yeah, Kuldar, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Very good. My mic was on mute on the desktop, but for some reason it works anyway. So let me continue. So you will see some how the Finnish online shoppers has changed in behavior from 2019 to 2020. You will see that what kind of products are bought online, what is important for the online shoppers, and perhaps there's also some tips for you how to, let's say, swell the shopping cart size. And then finally, a little bit overview to you about what kind of competition you encounter here in Finland. So we have been doing this for some years already. It's done by us, but we are buying the service from a company called Kantar TNS. It represents quite well about the Finnish population. So you can see that we have roughly 2,000, actually more than 2,000 responders in Finland. And as Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are also our home markets, we are doing the similar kind of study also in all of the countries. In this presentation, I will of course concentrate on Finland. In some occasions, you will also see figures from Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. So perhaps that puts a little bit the Finnish answers on context to you. The data was collected during the July, so the COVID is very much seen in the answers. All right. So first of all, we ask customers that how they perceive to be themselves, and we put based on the answers, we put customers to three different categories: active buyers, basic users, and doubters. So active buyers representing roughly 20%, basic users roughly 40%, and the doubters roughly 40%. Interesting result here is that in each category, customers will perceive themselves to buy much more during at the 2025 as what they are buying. And this is also for the doubters. So definitely We already see nice figures in e-commerce, and it will definitely keep on growing. Already, we are quite active in Finland, so roughly 60% of the population have made purchases during the past month, and the figure was roughly 50% during last year. So considerable growth already there. And on below, you will also, actually, sorry, there seems to be some Finnish language there still, but you can see some results for the Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Good for you is that the Finnish customers still find the places to shop through search engines, of course, like Google, and word of mouth. So in some business areas, like especially in the United States, the e-commerce platforms gain more and more popularity. Like people are actually going to Amazon to search things, but that's not the case, at least not in Finland. So definitely there's a good chance to be found also through, and as mentioned, definitely word of mouth. So when do customers buy? The campaigns are increasingly popular. When we are looking at 2019 answers to 2020 answers, we can see that each campaign are more popular now than they were last year. The biggest ones being, of course, the Black Friday, Christmas, and summer sale. But then also you should be aware of the Finnish campaigns. So Hulutpäivät, the Crazy Days by Stockmann, and then there are Kärkkäisen Sikapäivät and Manttimarkkinat. So good, marketing-wise, to think that should you definitely advertise during these days, or perhaps not. About the categories that people buy, not big surprises here. We've seen these already in many studies, clothing, shoes, accessories, consumer electronics, books, beauty products, and so on. Hobby products is that on the 5th or 6th place there. More interesting it is to look at how much increase there has been inside a category. So we can see that in the hobby category, there has been a big increase from 2018 to 2020, and also in food category, which is quite understandable because of COVID. And in each category, basically, customers are buying more, except that physical games are bought less, which have been makes a lot of sense. Something about the shopping cart size. So majority is under 100 euros. If we look at the data on the left side, we can see that roughly 60% are below 75 euros. This will get handy when you are thinking, for example, about free delivery threshold. On the right side, you can see that there are differences between categories. All categories total 111 euros. That's racks up by consumer electronics almost 200 euros, clothing 80 euros. Remember the hobby products, what I mentioned in the earlier slide, 94 euros. So what do online shoppers actually appreciate when they are doing shopping? And this is actually, I think, one of the most interesting slides on this presentation. So typically, of course, customers are buying and price is guiding customers quite a lot. But the easiness of buying is considerably big in this category. So people have noticed that at least in the best websites, it's very easy to buy from click to door. And they are feeling that they are saving their time, and it's just convenient to buy online instead of brick and mortar. Speaking a little bit about the delivery methods. So as in Estonia, parcel lockers are popular also in Finland. And we are, of course, very happy about this, as according to our strategy, we are very much increasing our parcel locker network. And one fact actually that just this Monday we installed to Finland our 2000th locker. So, the growth has been quite a lot. During 2020, we have been installing roughly 500 lockers altogether, additional ones. So definitely on the right track here, and people are loving it, and I don't personally see any reason why they wouldn't continue to like them also in the future, as they are doing in Estonia also, and more in Latvia and Lithuania. Of course, we also asked that what transport company consumers prefer, and we're happy to be top one position here. Humble, of course, but I do feel that we've also done a lot of work to reach this position. The parcel lockers is one thing. Then also worthwhile to mention here is our mobile application. I just yesterday I checked out from Apple Store that our mobile application is the still #1 most downloaded in the utilities category in Finland, and #8 most downloaded software in Apple Store in Finland from all applications. So consumers really like the application. It's very modern, very sleek. You can return the parcel through it. You can pay through it. You can extend the storage time through it. You can have electronic letters and so on. It's also good for marketing purposes for companies and steering parcels and so on. So very popular. The mobile application is called Oma Posti, if someone is interested in my own post image. Then, as promised, perhaps some kind of hints for you that how you can influence purchases. First of all, it's not going to be like an easy task. So the standards have clearly risen. 2019 again, there compared to 2020, and everything is more difficult. So perhaps it is because the ease of buyingness. So people are they know that what good online experience is, and they want to demand that from everybody basically. But if you want to concentrate on something, then of course, like poor reputation, very bad, of course. Poorly functioning websites makes sense. High delivery costs, okay, depends how you present that. Like if there's a threshold for free delivery, for example, that's something to think about. Unclear delivery and returns policy. Those are the most important things in this category. How about that? What makes customers to buy more online? And here we can see a clear winner. So free deliveries. If free deliveries are offered, then customers seem to want to buy more. And also worthwhile to notice in all categories is that standards are also rising here. And speaking of those free deliveries, we can see that almost 90% of the forerunners have actually increased their shopping basket size to reach the free delivery threshold. And also from basic runners, roughly 80% have done. Women are a little bit more eager to do that than men, but in each category, definitely they do that every once in a while to get it more attractive. What's important when shopping online, and we can see that delivery related questions are important to customers. So whatever you do, if you offer a free delivery or not, at least clearly state the delivery cost. Then detailed product descriptions, yes, affordable delivery prices, affordable prices. Some place at the middle, there's free returns also, so that's for customers and most of the companies are doing that actually. Then finally, a little bit about the competition and how does it look like in Finland. We did ask customers to name 5 best online stores. We didn't have any pre-selection there, so it was just a blank slate, and the customers were able to tell that whatever webshop they wanted here. Very happy actually to see so many nominations. And top 20 you can see on the right side. Best local store was verkkokauppa.com, as it was last year, and the best foreign store was Zalando, as it was also last year. If we choose to look, let's say, choose to select like one view to look this, in top 20, we can see only few sites that are selling in English. So there is AliExpress, eBay, and Amazon. So big platforms. Everything else is in Finnish. Most of the companies in top 20, they are selling wide variety of goods. They have probably might have even like decades of experience in the top 20 is difficult to reach, but definitely on the left side, I can see some new sites also, especially if you are working in a nice like hobby niche or some other category that is growing. I don't see any problem why anyone could reach on that side of the screen. That's it. As mentioned, you will get the presentation afterwards, and just connect to me now with questions or later on, and see where to take the session from here. But that's all from my hand. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Jukka, for your presentation. Really insightful, and definitely there's a need for the slides because there was a lot of content there. Just before Sten is going to continue with presentation, I'm going to ask one quick question. We're going to have, of course, the Q&A and the discussion later, but until Sten is getting ready, can you tell me what was like this COVID and Corona situation? How was it affecting the Finnish e-commerce market this spring and then also summer maybe?
Big increase. So first of all, like in sometime during the day or sometime during the time, we saw 30% of growth in e-commerce.
30, okay.
30. So and in some peak weeks even 50%. But in general, if you were growing less than 30%, you were falling behind the market. And then when we are seeing about delivery methods, like Finland is a parcel locker and service point country, but in some occasions we did see more than 300% increase for home deliveries, and this became increasingly important. Like I talked during the presentation about the free deliveries. So if companies were able to offer the free deliveries or whatever threshold they required for that, they grew much more than just the market.
Excellent. We'll have more questions. We can see them popping up in the questions tab already. But Sten, stage is yours.
Hello. Do you hear me? Yes. Hi. Do you hear me?
Yep, everything is working great.
Perfect. So thanks, Jukka. So you already mentioned some of the figures, what I will show in my presentations as well. So shortly about me, I'm sales director in Itella Estonia. We are part of Posti Group, and we have one owner, the state of Finland. And we are really proud and happy about that. In our group, we have more than 200,000 business customers. And as Jukka mentioned, that our home market right now is Finland and Baltic states. So today, based on that, I focus more to the Finland delivery methods, and I will tell about the options what Itella Estonia can provide for e-commerce companies and for the companies who are selling to the business customer. What are those options, what we can provide, and how we can help to expand the business to Finland. So about Itella Estonia, so mostly for the e-commerce companies, we are known as a SmartPost parcel locker service provider, but also we are able to provide the courier service in a home market to Finland, as well the road transportation. And I'm pretty much sure that not all of the participants doesn't know that we provide air and sea transportation and warehouse and in-house logistic services. So basically, we are able to cover a whole supply chain for our clients. About the Finland figures and about the Finland markets, as Jukka mentioned that in Finland currently we have almost 2,000 parcel lockers and also 800 pickup points. So it makes like a 2,800 pickup points where a customer can get the parcels all over the Finland. And on the next slide, you will see the plans for the next 2 years, what and how we plan to increase or expand our network. And in the locations where we are not able to send the parcels to the parcel machine, we have a courier network where we can deliver the parcels all over the Finland. About the smart post pickup points, so as I mentioned that we have those APTs all over the Finland. The maximum dimensions are what you can deliver to the machines are 60, 36 and 60 centimeters, and minimum are 1 centimeter. So basically envelopes when we are talking about. The most popular additional services when I talking about pickup points service, then are the returns and COD. Definitely when we talking about the e-commerce business, then the return part is really crucial, and we have a really convenient solution how the customers can return the goods when it's not suitable and doesn't like to the customers. So customers can use this Oma Posti app, and using it, it's really convenient. So about the delivery times from Estonia, we can provide 1 up to 3 business day delivery all over Finland. In my experience, what is really important for e-commerce companies is the integration part. With our development partners, we have developed the plugins for the most popular platforms as WooCommerce, Magento, Shopify, etc. So it's really easy to integrate our solution to your platform and start sending the parcels to Finland direction. About our plans in the next 2 years, so I will show a short video or clip. So as I mentioned that right now we have 2,000 pickup points. So that our plan is that in 2022 we have in Finland almost 4,000 lockers. So that means that 1 locker for 1,250 persons. So right now the figure is 1 locker for 2,500. In Estonia, the same figure is almost same as in Finland right now. About the courier service, so as I mentioned that not all of the parcel doesn't fit to the parcel machine. That means that the parcels which are bigger than our machine can fit, it's possible to send the parcels by courier all over the Finland. And in the e-commerce business, it's crucial that some of the parcels as a washing machine, fridges, etc., furniture, it's possible to send through us as well. And for the B2C courier service, it's important to have a pre-call before the delivery, because as we know, not all of us are not at home during the daytime. So after the business hour for the B2C courier is the most popular delivery time. And as I mentioned, that the COD and return as well is a part of e-commerce additional value services. And when I'm jumping to the last page, then especially for the B2B customers, we are able to provide groupage transport solutions as well, partial truckloads, full truckloads, hanging garment transport. So it depends from the customer needs. We can find the solution what is the best for our partners. So I believe that after when we have a negotiation with the partners, we are able to provide the best solution what the customers are needing to the Finland direction. So from my point of view, that's all. So all the questions are welcome. Thanks.
Thanks, Sten. I'm gonna start the questions now with something I've written down myself, and I can see that there are many questions in the questions tab as well. So if anyone listening still has questions, please do write them down. I'm gonna pick up about with the delivery method. So as we saw in the slides, that locker machines are preferred in like close to 50%. In 30% cases, followed by courier delivery. Now, Estonian market sees that locker machines are like up to 80% used for online purchases. So what would be the best strategy for Estonian merchant to look towards Finland? Can you still get away only offering parcel machines, or should you definitely be looking for other methods as well? Sten, maybe.
So yeah, we see that the parcel locker network expanding in Finland, and that's the reason why we are investing for the network as well, because when we started more than 10 years ago in Estonia, I remember that the main delivery method was the post office. So now we see the market have changed, and same we see in Finland. But anyway, the courier service will stay, because for big dimension items, it's not possible to deliver through the APTs.
One of the question Cairo asked the questions tab, and which got the most upvotes, is what are the average delivery costs in Finland? What are people used to pay for delivery? And this for both courier cases and for parcel machine deliveries. Maybe Jukka, you can or Sten comment on that.
I can comment something on that. So first of all, I do believe that quite many, at least the biggest companies, they do use the threshold for free deliveries. That's one thing. And then also, actually getting a little bit back also to the previous question, I feel that let the consumer choose what delivery method they want to take. So definitely a PUDO, like parcel locker and service points, has to be there. And then also customers, they expect that they can choose the actual from the website directly. That is easily done through APIs. And if they choose to do so, then delivery to home would be also great, especially now because of the COVID and what I said about the increase of delivery. We do have a lot of instances that some companies, they didn't have a home delivery prior COVID, and then they rushed to offer that. So it doesn't cost anything to offer also.
Mm-hmm.
About the delivery cost, if I continue on that side, so the threshold, yes, should be there. For in fashion, the threshold can be like 40 euros, and in some hobby areas it can be 80 euros or 100 euros, depending very much about the category. You are the expert on that. If there's no threshold, I would say my top of mind figures, 3 to 5 euros for service point, and 7 to 11 euros for home delivery. Just top of mind figure.
Yeah. Okay. Few more questions here. We answered this. This was also like, what's the affordable delivery cost? So we covered that. There was an interesting questions regarding cities and other regions. So let me see if I can find that question quickly. How many % of customers buy in Helsinki versus other cities? So is there like a geographical difference where people are buying more online than others?
I can take this. It's actually a very good question, and obviously I don't have exact figures there, but we do know strongly that in dense areas people buy more. So Helsinki, Tampere, and Turku areas, those 3 cities are definitely hoarding most of the e-commerce. Just again, like top of mind figures, don't take this as true figures, but if we say that less than half of the population is living on roughly that area, then perhaps 80% of the e-commerce is actually going to that area. So Helsinki metropolitan area, of course. So there's the Helsinki, Vantaa, and Espoo, so the 2 cities. But then the Tampere area and then the Turku area, most important.
But of course, there is also the competition is most fierce. So if you Finland is big enough, so if you make it in a niche and are able to pinpoint some some areas with little less competition, then you might be in for a good run. So gonna continue with some questions regarding Jukka's presentation. So I think one of the interesting thing that caught my eye was that in the top shops list, there are actually dominant shops are local domestic shops with of course a few exceptions with like of Amazon and Wish and such. How much of the like e-commerce share is actually domestic in Finland, and how much is bought from abroad, from the bigger platforms and marketplaces and shops?
More and more are coming abroad. I would personally, as a Finnish person living in Finland, I would love to see more Finnish shops there, and there are. So there's also fierce competition within Finland in Finnish e-commerce shops. Then for the customers, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to say that if the web shop is Finnish or not. People don't recognize that if the company is actually from Sweden, as quite many big, especially fashion companies, are shipping from Sweden, and there are Swedish companies. Then we see the big companies from Europe also. Difficult to say figures, but we do see more and more coming from abroad. Then one point here perhaps is that a few years ago, I think that the orders from China. So now we see less orders from China. There has been some, price increases, some customer thing, and perhaps also the sustainability issue that the people perhaps don't want to order one stuff and knowing that it comes from China. So that's also a valid point there.
But we saw in this list that many of the shops had the .fi domain names. So following with Joona's question is that how important it is to have a Finnish homepage on Finnish domain. Does it raise does it make a web store more reliable in the eyes of the Finnish consumer?
Again, difficult question. Like it all depends the business what you are selling, the category where you are. .fi is the dominant one, of course. But .com is reasonable, I would say.
Okay, just to follow up on that, how important would it be to have a website with a Finnish speaking customer service then?
It's also a difficult question, and there's no definite answer. Depends upon the category. Once again, when thinking about the Finnish population, most people do speak at least to some extent English, especially in the cities where the e-commerce is most dominant, right? So if the service is good, it's easy to buy. Remember from the presentation, if you have reasonable delivery costs there, and your product is diamond, and you're in a category that is growing, then I think that you can get away from that kind of thing. So perhaps you don't need to have it in English. And then there are some ways to do it. Some companies, they have a Finnish website, and then they have the Finnish customer service on the website, but when you send a question, they will reply in English. So that's also something that can happen. Always better if you can offer the local language, but definitely it's understandable if not, depending about the category.
I bet it's especially the case that you can get away with English if your product or service is unique enough, so they don't have much of an alternative. But if there is an alternative or the competition is bigger, then I guess you need to be a lot more local to win trust and gain some attention. Sten, I'm going to ask a bit about the deliveries once again. This also pops up in the questions tab. Is that when do you need to have actually some warehousing in Finland? You mentioned that you are able to do deliveries to basically any part of Finland in 1 to 3 days from Estonia here, but when does it make sense to have some local warehousing?
My experience is saying it's personal question. So with some of the customers we have, or actually the customers or clients need to do the calculation what is reasonable, because definitely the labor costs in Finland are more expensive than in Estonia. So based on that, what I see the trend that Finland companies are coming to Estonia and open their warehouses here and sending to Finland. So that's the trend what I see.
Okay, interesting. Let's talk about payment methods a bit. We mentioned that Finland is becoming a locker nation as well, like Estonia is. But Jukka, what are the most popular payment methods? What do you have to offer to actually serve the customers well? How do they prefer to pay?
They prefer to pay by bank slip or by using some kind of a service for that. Cash on delivery is not that used in Finland. It's available, but really not used. Many companies, I think the biggest companies don't even offer it anymore, but some companies offer. And again, I think it's also about historical reasons that they've always done that, and they have a customer base who are buying COD. But convenient of paying, it's one part of the ease of buying. So bank slip and service providers for paying. One thing what comes to my mind about this is one-click paying. So here again, I think that the easiness of paying is
okay, so it's in that sense, it's very similar to Estonian market. We have like a big majority of payments with bank links, and Maksekeskus also is offering 10 Finnish banks, so you can integrate quite easily to your shop and sell. So if you offer those Finnish bank links plus, let's say, credit cards, then you're pretty good to go, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Excellent. There is a somewhat specific question, is that can you comment on event ticketing segment? Do people steal paper tickets, or are they interested in buying tickets online?
The companies who broker tickets to events, they have good mobile applications nowadays. Personally, okay, I'm a city person. I live in Helsinki city, in the middle of the city. I haven't even seen a paper slip for events for years, but of course I only represent about the city people, and that's my personal opinion. But when we think it in more widely, the e-commerce is dominant in the cities. The mobile applications get very modern, so I hardly think that the people would buy, especially if they are buying for themselves, anymore paper ticket.
There is one question from Veronica just came in about payment methods. Is there? Can you share some information about which are the biggest players in payment providers? Do you have that information on top of your head? Like I don't know how popular, for example, PayPal is.
Not that popular.
I guess it's a bit difficult to find this exact information about different payment methods. I did some research myself some weeks ago, and it's much more. Although, like as we said, bank payments and bank links are majority, but there are more digital wallets, which, like for example, compared to Estonia, are much more used than here, a lot less used. So. It's if you're looking for like additional methods then and services, then it gets more diverse and you really need to dig deeper. But with bank links, you as we said, you can get pretty much your business rolling. What I found really interesting from Jukka's slides again was that what are like the main causes to use online shopping, and the biggest one was ease of buying, which was by far the biggest, which it's a big contrast to the Baltics. In similar studies in the Baltics, we see price being the main driver to buy online. So can you actually say that the if let's say an Estonian merchant is looking around in Finnish e-shops, that you can, like in a really broad picture, say that Finnish e-shops these days are also designed with ease of use in mind, and can be seen as an example? Or do you see that although people appreciate ease of use, then they still the Finnish shops itself need a lot of work to do? Are there any like shining examples you can share?
Once again, a difficult question to answer straightforward. The biggest sites are putting a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of resources to streamline everything. And especially when they are trying to win market share, they are not paying that much attention to the cost, a lot of campaigns and so on. So people are looking example of those websites, but then on the other hand, it might not be realistic for small players to have such functionalities yet available. But if you can, then that's definitely, I would see as a competitive edge. So there's lots of sites that are not that easy to buy, but if you really want the product, then of course you are willing to go a little bit extra mile. It all comes down to the competition again, about the category what you are selling in. I do feel that there is definitely room for improvement, but that being said, the standards have risen according to the study, but also the web shop functionalities and the feature have risen with the standards. So it is more smooth nowadays.
Robin has quite many questions here, which are maybe a bit technical, but the language issue seems to be a concern to merchants here. So his question is that would a Finnish language section of an English, would a Finnish language section of an English or Estonian website be enough? In other words, multilingual site, would that work? Or do you would prefer that, it's a standalone Finnish site?
I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. As long as customers are finding the website.
Yeah.
So So the endings such as EU or ending like EE are not that much perhaps used. And if you are looking at the best websites, they are always either .fi or .com. So people are not that familiar with EU or like mentioned EE. But that's also something that I would like to leave to some website professionals to solve. Perhaps there are some things like presentation. We saw that people are finding web shops through Google. So I don't know, perhaps from Google you can find easier like a .fi or .com pages instead of .eu. I have an idea about that.
Doesn't seem to be, maybe we're overthinking here then, that it's important to have .fi or whatnot. So I guess the most important is that you have a good brand, high quality products, and ease of use. So if they stumble upon your shop one way or another and it speaks, then the domain doesn't really make sense. And if it's in English, then so be it. So focus, I guess, on actually delivering those products and shipping them fast. About shipping,
and telling that, and then telling that to the customer in an easy way. That's the important part. If delivery does take 5 days, well, it's not okay to have it in 5 days. People are expecting to have it faster. But even though, let's say, if you are saying that you are delivering 5 days, then if you know that you are delivering 5 days, then state that clearly and do that in 5 days, not in 6 days. I think that's the most important part.
Yeah. So don't overpromise and under-deliver. Trine has a question about shipping costs, and this can be followed with other questions about similar. So this is to Sten. Maybe Sten, briefly introduce what are the Trine is asking about average cost for a company to use your services, but maybe you can explain about your service fees or this structure a bit. So if a merchant starts to thinking about shipping to Finland, what kind of costs are involved and how do these develop over time?
About the delivery cost, I would like to say that there is a different figures. So the line haul cost, the last mile cost, pickup cost. So it depends what are the product sizes, what is the average weight of the parcels, what is the regularity, and based on that, I'm 99% sure that we are able to put together competitive and good personal offer for our partners. So it's really difficult to give the answer to say that the pickup point cost is €8 or €9 or €6. So based on client parcel volumes, parcel dimension, regularity, etc. So based on that, the parcel price will come.
So does it mean that merchants of any size, even the smaller ones, could approach you and ask for special pricing or such?
Not sure. I'd say we are watching the, let's say, potential of the business, and if our interest is as well to help our clients to Finland market. So if the delivery cost is really high, and we see that it doesn't help to expand to Finland. There is no point to keep it really high. So it's the cooperation between client and us.
Mm-hmm. And Andrek had a question about low-cost orders to Finland, saying that they can sometimes be higher than the cost of the product itself. So any advice on how to save on shipping costs on low-cost orders?
It is related with my last answer. So we customer need to look what is the regularity. Is it the daily pickup, or is it once per week? And based on that, as I said, that the cost, the delivery cost coming from pickup, sorting, line haul, last mile cost, and if we look into the details, we will find out where we can optimize the delivery costs.
Mm-hmm. I think it's time for us to wrap this webinar. It's been very interesting, and I really hope that Estonian merchants do look towards Finland more than they perhaps have been done so in the past. Much of Estonian merchants, for some reasons, at first look at the Latvian Lithuanian market, and of course there are big opportunities there as well. But the Finnish market, with its size and buying power, is definitely an interesting one. And we at Maksekeskus can help also to expand, as we mentioned, that we offer payment methods, the Finnish bank links, which are dominant payment methods in Finland, and as Sten mentioned, that they have integrations with many e-commerce platforms. And our plugins also feature Itella locker locations in Finland. So it's really easy to get started in that sense and start selling in Finland. So any last ideas and recommendations from both of you? Some inspirational thoughts on why would an Estonian merchant look towards Finland? Jukka.
Because e-commerce is growing. It's as simple as that. When we are comparing Finland to big markets, again, the biggest markets, United States, but then also the big European markets, we are not there at all. So we are making big investments to the network, big investments to the e-commerce. That's where most of our business comes from, although we are not national post service. And there is room for more companies, definitely, and it would be great to see more Estonian companies also in the market.
Sten, your last thoughts?
I was thinking about the COVID situation, and in the current situation when Finnish people are not able to come to Tallinn, so we can easily provide Estonian brands and products to Finland customers, and that's the reason. If you have a good e-commerce shop or online store, you can provide the goods for the Finland person. That doesn't mean that they need to come here, but they can buy at home.
That's a very good point, and we don't know exactly how this is going to play out with COVID and travel and everything. So definitely a point to consider. There are a few questions which are really specific on our chat, so we're gonna follow up with these by email. But this webinar, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. After the webinar has ended, we're going to send you a small survey, which we hope that you'll be able to fill, as it will help us to do even better webinars. The slides will also be available. We're going to send them later on by email. And if your friends and colleagues miss this live webinar, then everybody's able to watch it on demand at any given time they want. Just use the same link or sign up for online watching. Again, guys, thanks Jukka, thanks Sten for your time. Really interesting insight to Finnish market, and hopefully we'll be able to do this in the future as well. Thanks everybody.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye.